in the last 6 weeks, Twitter has exploded.
Yeah.
I mean,
wonder why.
it's our fastest growing platform.
Yeah.
So this Elon dude is just whipping up a storm with this thing. I'm very optimistic. I mean, it's been a time. I really enjoy this time of year for family and friends and everything else. But certainly the dialogue has been. This has been a year of exhaustion.
Yeah. I walked into my parents' house for Thanksgiving and I go, guys, I love you. We're not talking about crypto. I know what the market looks like.
Yeah.
I know what my book looks like. I'm solvent. I'm fine.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that.
Well, I think the lesson learned, if there's anything, is how important it is to be watchful about how concentrated you get.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people learned that lesson the hard way. I have always had this mentality for the last 35 years of being an investor, is you should spend 4 or 5 minutes every day around 4:05 to just get the dashboard of all your positions.
Yep.
And I've been doing this for decades. And when I see something, it's an intuitive feeling. When you see something, let's say you own, I'll give you an example, Tesla, classic stock. My son got a job there a few years ago, and he was an intern to begin with, and I never bought the stock. I thought the valuation was insane. But he convinced me it wasn't really a car company, it's a data company.
It's a tech company, yeah.
So I took a position on long before the split, and that stock went nothing except go up.
Yeah.
And so every single day it kept moving up, and it was going past that 5% weighting in the overall portfolio. So every week I'd call down to our guys and say, okay, take down Tesla to 5%. And they said, boss, it's our biggest winner. I said, take it down to 5%. Take it down to 5%.
You're that disciplined that you even take it down to get it weighted, even if it's
what
ripping.
happens when you do that is you don't get the full upside of what Tesla is, but when it corrected,
You got downside protection.
totally, and our cost base is zero on that stock.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
the same thing with crypto. You have to have the discipline when, if you have 5 positions and one of them ends up being 15%, you got to take it down.
Yeah.
You know?
I took my ETH position off the day before Powell initially raised rates.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be a complete risk-off environment moving forward.
Yeah.
And ETH was at 3,300. It was a great.
Yeah, no, I remember
it was a
ETH,
great move.
people think, well, that was more stable than Bitcoin. Not so.
No.
And it's not clear to me, how that run. We need a lot more applications on
Yes.
Ethereum, and the same thing with Polygon. I mean, Polygon, I don't know what it's trading at today, maybe 94 cents or whatever, but that thing, was on fire for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Polygon and Chainlink are the two that I'm adding to most.
Yeah.
And ETH is, I've always kept in the back of my mind, like, God forbid ETH becomes AOL in the 1999 bubble. I mean, I've said that to a lot of people and they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, well, it can happen. It has happened. And when you see, I truly believe Polygon's going to become an L1 at some point in time.
Yeah, that could happen, although it's been really productive in reducing
Very.
gas fees.
Yep.
And the team, the one thing I do with all these teams is, if I'm going to take a significant position, I want to meet them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've been investing in software teams since the Learning Company. We were doing Reader App at Carmen San Diego. It's developed by a team.
Yeah.
The game Mist. I mean, all these things were really eclectic software engineers. And I have a pretty good intuitive feel when I meet a team who's good and who's bad.
Yeah.
And the Poly team they're really good.
Yeah.
These guys are on a mission.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah, and they're popping up everywhere, which is what you want to see.
Yeah.
So, Kev, let's finish with this. What do you think about this team, Anthony and I, and the mission that we're on, which is basically and it's called Proof of Work, to interview as many people in the space as possible, find out what they're doing. Anthony has his bullshit meter on as much as possible so that we make sure that they're explaining things to the masses and they don't get too deep in what their job is and they confuse everyone, because sometimes that ends up being a little bit of a scam.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we're
listen,
trying to
guys,
make this appeal to everyone.
There's a reason they call me Mr. Wonderful, because I always tell the truth. I would say this to you right now: do not give up your day jobs. You can't even afford an office. We're in a car.
So you're saying we should take this to the shed? And
No. I think the mission makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Demystifying new technologies, crypto being one of them, it makes a lot of sense, because one weird thing about the crypto market, there really is no bad news. There's just more news.
Correct.
And so the more this crazy stuff happens, the more a grandmother wants to know about it. It stays, in the ethos all day long. I mean, if I just look at the inbound in our social, I have millions of followers. I want to know more about this. I want to know what happened. I want to know, how it happened. So that interest, for all of this bad crap, what you do is very important.
Yeah.
If you can, make it understandable and easy to grasp the concepts, there's a lot of merit in that, and I think it go a long way. It's a very good idea. And the other thing I agree with is everybody's so sick of seeing these podcasts in a studio with headphones on.
Yes.
Like, this is a much better idea.
Yeah.
If you can go into a different environment and shoot an interview, it makes a lot of sense to me, because that is how I get my news. That's how everybody gets their news. And so they pick their favorites in terms of, and they look at the content and the copy. I usually get up at 5 in the morning and I listen to my favorite casters and say, look, what do they got?
Yep.
What do they got for me? And that is real news.
Yes.
It's real opinion. To the extent you don't get played and you cull out the bullshit and you scrape off the crap, then you're doing a great job, both of you.
Are you a big Twitter guy?
I am a big Twitter guy, and I must say something about Twitter. We manage our platforms with different teams. Social media is a business for me.
Yeah.
It's an income.
Yeah.
And so, and we have teams that are expenses. So, Twitter, until recently, was dead.
Yeah.
It was not growing, and so we watch every week the growth in engagement and the growth of users on, and followers on every platform. In the last 6 weeks, Twitter has exploded.
Yeah.
I mean,
wonder why.
it's our fastest growing platform.
Yeah.
So this Elon dude is just whipping up a storm with this thing. And it's also gotten very volatile. It's the crazies are out roaming. And I think if his mission is to make it a true speaker's corner, he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's got to deal with I've always said about this, and Twitter is a good example. If you want free speech, you're going to have to give the lunatic fringe a voice.
Yes, absolutely.
The 2.5% nut bars.
Yeah.
And you're going to get them, but by allowing them to be there, you are supporting the majority of free speech.
Yes.
You can't let someone decide who has a voice and who doesn't.
Correct.
That just doesn't work.
No.
Because that person has their own opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with what's happened there. TikTok's crazy for us now. And I've learned a lot about, how to manage these. When we produce content for TikTok, it's completely different than Twitter, completely different than Instagram, completely different than what we put on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has turned out to be a massive platform.
It's amazing, actually. I went back to LinkedIn a month ago after like a 5-year hiatus, and the engagement on there and the conversations around everything surprised me.
I'm having this massive dialogue about crypto with 3.7 million people on LinkedIn, and they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a perfect platform for you.
It is, but I use them all because I'm supporting. The real secret sauce of Shark Tank, if we're going to get to that, is the shark has millions of followers and can tell the story of his investment.
Yes.
And the reason that matters, and the way you can measure it, and the thing that is the secret sauce is I can reduce customer acquisition costs. In some cases down to zero.
Yep.
So I take the Bertello pizza oven as Chef Wonderful.
Yep.
And we've turned that into one of America's most successful kitchen utensils. It's like the Foreman grill.
Yeah.
Because we told the story of it, and we showed how pizza can be made inexpensively, and really good pizza. That's what I do for my companies, and so social really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be able to tell stories. And for me, it's such a wild journey. The same thing with crypto. That's why I said to everybody after this latest fiasco, don't worry, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, it's branding. So do you think that NFTs should change their name? Like we've talked about what?
Well, I mean, we
Digital
completely dropped the
collectibles?
NFT to digital collectibles.
Do you like that
I
branding
think that,
better?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gives a tone of authentication.
Yes.
And I would, if you could focus on authentication, as I told you in that piece of art, a German photographer did this piece, and I really liked it, and I said I will not buy it without an NFT.
Yep.
From the dealer as well. And they went through that, and they said, thank you for putting us through this. I got them involved with a company called Mutable Holdings that owns NFT.com.
Yep.
I'm a shareholder in that. I think it's Jordan Freed there. And so he helped them out. He created it, helped them create it. There's a lot of merit in that.
Yep.
And I'm a big believer in that, and I've stayed along those positions. So you guys are part of it. I mean, if you can add, take out of the chaos the idea of authentication,
Yes.
then you got something.
Yeah, our core thesis there was instant settlement, seamless peer-to-peer transactions, immutable authentication For collectibles, it just makes complete sense.
It's the opposite of eBay.
Yes.
Yeah, but so now you have to go implement use cases.
Yep.
And if they work, fantastic.
Yeah. For instance, we created a fantasy football platform where you can actually use your cards as your team
That's great.
online. So
I mean,
we're,
that's also fun.
yeah.
Then you'll have to develop some apps around that.
We've got a full DApp ecosystem that we're rolling out around that. It's a full vertically integrated platform, marketplace.
This is the
gamified.
maturation of that space
Yep.
that will come as a result of what's occurred here.
Yeah.
And I think it's great what you guys are doing, and you should keep doing it because what actually is happening that's never happened before. In the cases of the networks that I work with, the traditional cable or broadcast, linear TV, and this is just in the last, I don't know, 12, 18 months, I have more followers on my own network than they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's about the talent.
Well,
right?
but at the end of the day, it must be scary that the talent you brought on your network has more followers than your whole network.
Yeah.
So I don't need to. If I want to bring out something to my network, I just bring it out.
Yeah, you have the Mr. Wonderful machine.
Yeah, I
You've
just
got your
bring it
social
out
and
and I
your
say,
engine,
look,
yeah.
this is on my mind, and what do you think? And let's
Yeah.
get into a dialogue about it. I think that empowerment is really remarkable.
Yeah.
It's also a responsibility, which is why I feel, circling back to the FTX thing, I feel obligated to go figure this thing out.
Yeah.
I'm going to apply for the credit committee. I'm going to do some work on that. I am going to find out where those files are. I've got lots of lawyers. I got millions of followers, and I feel it's the right thing to do, having put my name to it.
Absolutely. Your name's everything.
And it is everything.
Yeah.
So, we'll unpeel this onion, and in maybe 24 months we'll see where we're at.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I definitely look forward to it.
People need help, and they're looking for some, whatever you want to call it, a Robinhood to kind of help and facilitate what's going on, and someone that can actually have a conversation like you can about this.
Yeah,
space.
no, I love Robinhood. Vlad is a really good guy. I talked to him a couple of times about the mission he's on to democratize. I mean, he took so much flack.
Yeah.
But he doesn't change. He says, look, I'm going to democratize investing, and I'm going to make it easy for people to do it. And he's still around he's the envy of many of these dealer brokers
Yeah.
in terms of, he's had a really rough ride. And then he also got stuck in the FTX thing.
Yeah, I think his problem was public perception. I think if you took the Citadel portion out of the equation, everyone wouldn't have been pitchforked coming after him.
Yeah, but they're pitchforked because they're saying that there's no transparency for where the fees are really paid.
Yeah.
But that's not true, really. The other platforms are doing the same thing. They're providing free trading, but they're also providing margin loans where they make money.
Correct.
So it's sort of, nothing is free, and people should go into everything realizing nothing's free.
Yeah.
So somewhere you're paying, somewhere there's friction, somewhere.
Yeah.
Mr. Wonderful, this was an absolute pleasure. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was
Thank
a
you
lot of
very
fun.
much.
This has been amazing. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
And thank you to the New York City traffic for
Yeah,
giving us
yeah.
a little
And-
extra
and next
Kevin
time-
O'Leary time. We needed it.
Next time, let's upgrade to a pizza parlor.
We will. I heard you're quite the chef.
Yeah, I am.
yes.
Yeah, I am.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, I actually was trained in classical French from a chef in Cambodia when I was a young guy. I was just an assistant, and in Cambodia it's so hot because I was living there with my father, who was with the United Nations, that they have to replace butter and cream with things like mango chutney and lime juice. So it's a French Asian fusion that I'm good at.
Okay.
So I make amazing light dishes. It's a time allocation issue, but I make the best escargot in the world, the
Okay.
best crêpe flambée. Nobody can touch me. I am the king.
Okay. I'm quite the chef myself. I enjoy
Really?
Yeah. I enjoy
He is.
cooking. I enjoy like open fire grilling. So I'll get like
Yeah.
Kobe, like snow beef from Japan, like for instance
So
Monday.
it's all about the sauce for
Yeah,
you, right?
like Monday night I did a rack of Iberico pork that was
Yeah.
marinated in harissa and yogurt.
Yeah.
And then grilled it over like hickory wood.
Yeah.
And
I do a lot of that
yeah.
too, but that when you're open fire and you're doing it, it's all about the sauce.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and the difference between success and catastrophe is how good are you at the sauce.
Yeah.
And how much sauce and when.
Yep.
So I appreciate that. I really do. And I do a lot of cooking, particularly in the summertime. I go crazy.
Yeah, it's how I get my zen.
It's very peaceful.
Yeah. It's how I get my zen and it's
You
creative.
get in the zen moment, and then you get to eat it.
Yes.
And the other thing is wine. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's my one weakness is wine. It's really bad. I got to reduce my wine intake. There's no question.
Wine is something I haven't mastered yet. I enjoy it. I know certain things to drink. Like I enjoy Super Tuscans and like Barbarescos, like the Italian
Yeah.
stuff. But getting into the nitty gritty and the actual appreciation of it.
Well,
I haven't
here's a
gotten to
fact,
yet.
though. You talk about expensive wines. 97% of wine consumed in America, 97, is sold for under $14 a
Yes.
bottle.
I believe that.
And what's happened during the pandemic is 42 states, now 43, allow direct shipment of a case
Okay.
from a winery,
Really?
from the vineyards. And so all of a sudden you don't have 2 tiers of distribution anymore. And so out of California, companies like QVC and Vintage Wine Estates, they're shipping millions of cases direct.
Okay.
That's how I do it. So
Yeah.
I don't do retail anymore. I just do direct, and I'm a big partner of QVC's, and we sell millions of dollars worth of wine. 3 million cases a year.
Have you ever heard from the Copa di Vino guy again?
No, Mark and I
actually-
went through a lot of crap.
It's
with him.
actually one of my favorite episodes. It's always, I don't know if you know, it's always on. They replay that episode
No,
on
it's
CNBC.
very popular because
Yeah.
it shows you, just sometimes the entrepreneur doesn't get it.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
Had we become that guy's partner, who knows where that would
Yeah.
be today.
Yeah.
But single serve wine also really went nowhere because Costco decided, which is the big distributor,
Yeah.
they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
They consider a bottle of 750 milliliters single serve.
Yeah.
So it's sort of and all the. Anyways, the wine business is half love, half art, half science. But anyways.
But it's a marketplace too. I mean, it's
yeah.
a collectible
Oh, yeah.
industry.
Well, if you're talking about Burgundy and first growth, and you're
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
about Bordeaux first growth, Latour, Cheval Blanc, these are wines that trade for thousands of dollars.
Yep.
DRCs, Latache, my goodness, those bottles
Yeah,
are
we're
sometimes
actually
25,000.
We're actually talking to Petrus about tokenizing
That would
wine
be
in,
huge.
in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
We already have the connections and everything set up in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
To
And
be
vaulted.
tokenizing crates and
Right.
it'll be vaulted. Tokenizing crates
Yeah,
and
because
vintages.
Petrus in the wood is far more valuable than a bottle that's been curated outside of
Yeah.
the case. So you really want to tokenize that
Yep.
case and
Yep.
say which bottles are in it, what year,
Yep.
and many people will buy that as an investment.
Yeah, that's our thesis.
Yeah. And that could be 20, 30-year investment.
Yep. Long time horizon.
Yeah.
It's
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what that's what it was.
You guys probably have the credibility to talk to these guys, right?
We're already talking to them.
Yeah.
We're talking to Petrus. We have in the Only Gems project, which is the tokenization of the cards. One of our partners is HBS YPO. He's in Zurich.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be opening vaults in Zurich in the Middle East to cater to clients outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
So he's got direct connections
Are these
with
free
Petrus.
zones, these vaults?
Yes.
Or, who's got the biggest free zone coming on the market is Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
They are really putting a lot of capital in.
Yeah, we have connections in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi and Dubai as well. That's
Yeah,
our
that-
that's our next.
They
growth
are
engine.
building the demand for free zone there
Yep.
is global.
Yep.
Because it's the safest city on earth. There's law there. It's
Yep. These are all free zones, tax efficient. and-
I'd feel very safe putting an asset there.
Yep. And then with Via Chainlink, we're actually going to be talking with them about creating self-auditing mechanisms
Yeah.
for the vaults, because with the card company, we thought about go to PwC, Deloitte, and get a quarterly audit to do one-to-one. Chainlink can actually create a self-auditing mechanism for the vault that is live at any given time, so you can actually see your
You
inventory.
could do both.
Yeah, we're probably going to, just to get.
I
an
would do both
opinion.
because a lot of people feel comfortable. PwC is our auditor, so
Yep.